Welcome to everyone. Today we are going to discuss the concept of pointers in C language. So pointers are interesting topic, one of the interesting topic of C actually. So let us start with the definition of pointer. So pointer is also a variable which stores the address of another variable. That is, inside a pointer we can store only address alone, right? So which is mainly used for dynamic memory allocation, because you guys knows what is static memory allocation, right? In arrays you would have used static memory allocation. For example, if we are giving int a of 5, that is static memory allocation, right? Which means we are reserving memory for 5 elements. You can't increase or you can't reduce it also, right? So better example we can take as character array. For example, if we are declaring a name as character array, how we will declare it? Char name of 20, which means I can store 20 characters into a variable called name. The 20 characters includes 19 plus 1, right? Because 19 actual input, 1 is for null character. Fine. So if my input is REC, how many space we will take? REC, 3 for input plus 1 is for null character, right? So we will use 4 characters out, 4 bytes out of 20. Okay, in the opposite, and we are going to be 16 bytes of memory, right? If I'm going to store the input as Rajalakshmi Engineering College, is it possible to accommodate within this 19 character space? No, you can't do it. This is the limitation of static memory allocation. Pointers will help us for avoiding these kind of things. That we'll see how it will do it. We'll see with an example, right? Okay, and pointer, it belongs to different data types. It may be integer pointer, float pointer, or character pointer and all. And what about the size of pointer? Again, it depends on architecture of the system, whether it is 32-bit OS or 62-bit. It depends on the architecture of the system. The size of pointer will differ. We'll go for a simple example. Int a. Say if we are typing as int a inside inside a program, what will happen? It reserves 4 bytes of memory for the variable called a, right? Okay. And I'm giving as a equal to 10. What I'm doing here, I'm going to assign the value 10 to the variable called a. After this, what will happen inside the memory? It may be like a 10. This is an address. I'm taking a random address, right? Because the address will differ from system to system. So what is a? Variable name. What is 10? Value of a. What is the 65524? Address of a. Again, I'm telling it is a random address, right? See how to represent the address, because with scanf we are using something called ampersand, right? So what we are doing here, for example, if I want to read this integer a, how we will read it? Scanf percentage d comma ampersand a. What is that ampersand a there? Address of a. Yes, the same thing here also. And if I want to display, I want to use this, I should go with ampersand a, right? Okay, then I'm going to declare one pointer variable as int star p. What is if? Simply we are giving as int p. P is an integer variable, and now int star p. P is the pointer variable. So what type of pointer it is? Integer pointer. What a pointer can store? Address. Remember, or better by heart one point as of now. Pointer means only address can be stored. Pointer stores only address. By heart that point as of now, right? So now it is an integer pointer, and pointer can store the address of a variable. Integer pointer can store the address of another integer variable, right? P equal to ampersand a. If we are giving as p equal to 20, it will not work, because pointer cannot store any value. So pointer can take only address alone, right? So here p equal to ampersand a can take the address. What is ampersand a? As per this random example, we are taking address of a as 65524. So now p will take 65524 as the value. Again, p will have its own address, that is going to be 65522. So what is this? Again, variable name. It is a pointer variable. What is this? Value of p. What is this? Address of p, right? Better let me type this code and run it. Int a equal to 10, right? Okay. I'm creating one more pointer variable called star p. So what we can assign for it, that is p equal to ampersand a, right? Okay, now I'm going to print one by one. Printf slash n. Okay, percentage d comma a. So what it will print? Value of a. So if I'll try to print ampersand a, what will happen? What is the test.c, right? Okay. And 10 against 64. Okay, what is the 64 87572? What is address of a? So address of a, you can go with a different format. You can go with percentage d or percentage u or percentage p or percentage x also. So generally for pointer, generally people will use percentage p. You can use any format again. That is here. So this is going to be your address of here. If I want to represent address in terms of hexadecimal format, I can use percentage x. So we'll compile the code and run the code. Here is 62. See, the address we are representing in different format. So first I was using percentage d, again I was using percentage p, again now I'm using percentage x. So it is preferable to go with percentage p for point, right? Okay, now I'm going to print p. What p will contain? Yes, p will contain the address of a, right? Okay, if I want to print address of p, what should I do? Ampersand p, right? As we are printing address, we can go with p itself. Okay, see what is happening. What is the first input? A. What is A? 10. Again we go with ampersand A. Address of A is something like this, ends with FE1C. What is P now? P in P, what we are storing? Yes, address of A. What is address of A? The same thing is going to be address of A, right? Yes. Then we are printing address of P. So address of P is going to be different than this, right? Okay. So now we are going to take, yes, so you got the you understood how this output came, right? That is A, address of A, again P and address of A both are same, then address of P. We'll go with the PPT. So how many operators we are using as of now? Ampersand and star, right? What are the use of star now? Yes, to declare a variable as the pointer. Super. So there are two operators here we are going to use. The first one is, so ampersand, second one is star, and the ampersand is called as address of operator, and star we are going to use as a dereferencing operator. That is, it will play two major roles. The first one is pointer declarator, second one is value at operator. That is, the first role is which is used to declare as a variable as the pointer. Second role is from the address, if I want to access a value, I can use something called star. That is, because pointer stores the address, right? How to access the value from an address? Again, for that also I can use star. I'll tell you with an example. We'll go to the same example. What P contains now? Address, right? If I want to access a value from the address, that is, normally P contains address, and ampersand P will give me address of P. If I'm giving a star P, what it will do is it will take the value from the address. So star will play two different roles. The first one is to declare a variable as pointer, and then one more role is and to access a value from the address. So this point is very important. I'll repeat one more time. So normally pointer hold the address, right? So from the address, if I want to access a value, again I need same operator star. See the output now. Compile the code and run the code. Because P is going to take the value of P, that is address, and ampersand P is going to take the address of P, and address of P, and star P will take the value at P, that is value from this address, right? So it is going to be 10 because P contains this address, right? In that address, what value we have, that is 10. That is, we are going to use the help of star P. Okay. What is the syntax now? Data type and star pointer variable, right? Okay. See here we are giving int p equal to ampersand n. What will happen if we are giving p equal to n? It will not work because p equal to n means we are trying to assign a variable or a value into a pointer, because pointer can store only the address. So this is a different example of the same thing. So P is a pointer and this is a variable name as number. This number, because here we are taking address in terms of hexadecimal format. What is this? F4 is the address of number, and P equal to ampersand number if you give, and F4 will be stored with P. Yes. Address of operator, the same concept. Okay, we'll go to same kind of program. So A equal to 10, star P equal to ampersand A. Since P is a pointer, we can store only address into it. We are going to try to print A, then address A, ampersand A, P, ampersand P, star P. See, one more thing, the address will change from system to system. If we are running the same program in two different machines, and two different machines will give different address, because it depends on available space on the system. Value will not be changed, but address will keep changing. Okay, and so it is giving a different output because the values are same, only the address is different. Because when I was preparing PPT, I was running in a different system, so it was giving a different address, right? So the address will keep changing from system to system. One point is a remember us, and star will be dereferencing operator used for two different purposes. The one is to declare a variable as pointer, and then from the address to access a value we can go with pointer. So this is an important point to remember from this. Why star P is giving 10? Because star P will take the value from the address. Yes. What is the size of pointer? In 16-bit machines it takes 8 bytes, and in 32-bit machines it may take 4 bytes. How to check? You can go to it. Printf, because we know that size of operator can be used for printing, checking the size of it, right? That is size of ptr %d comma size of p, since p is the pointer variable here, right? So size of ptr is 8. Since it is the 64-bit architecture, it is returning 8 bytes. So again, there is a size of pointer depends. Okay. So what are the advantages of pointers? We can access the memory of a variable directly, so which reduce the access time. And you know that it is mainly used for dynamic memory allocation. And if I want to return multiple values in a function, I can go with pointer. Because normally with functions with return type we learn something, right? If it is possible to return only one value from a function. If I want to return more than one value, it is not possible to return in terms of functions. In such cases we can go with pointers. So with pointers we can return an array also. Okay, there is a simple example which will tell you how to use the pointers, addition of two numbers using pointers. Okay, before going to it, what is the normal logic of addition of two numbers? You can read two numbers. For example, a and b, you can calculate the sum equal to a plus b, then you can print sum. For this scenario, why we need pointers? Yes, it is not required. But with the help of simple example, we are going to learn how to access the pointer. Then we can apply with some application programs, right? So this example will tell you how to use the pointer. Again, there is no use with this example for pointers. Okay, first, second, that is ARB, and star P and star Q. What is first and what is second? First and second are integer variables, and sum is also an integer variable. What is star P and star Q? So P and Q are integer pointers. You know that I'll recall the point. Pointer can store the address, and integer pointer can store the address of integer variable. If I want to declare a floating point pointer, what should I do? Yes, float star P comma star Q. So is it possible to store the address of integer variable into a floating point pointer? No, we can't do it, because the data type of the pointer and data type of the data type should match. So integer pointer can store the address of integer variable, and floating point pointer can store the address of floating point variable, right? So here we are going to read A as well as B, and normally we will perform the addition of two numbers, so sum equal to first plus second and will print it. But here we are going to pass this into pointer. So P equal to ampersand first, Q equal to ampersand second. What is P? P contains now address of variable first, and Q contains the address of variable second. If I want to perform sum with the normal context, we can go sum equal to first plus second, but here we are using pointer, so we are giving a sum equal to star P plus star Q. What is P? Address of first. What is Q? Address of second. And from the address, how to access a value? Yes, we need star. Star P plus star Q will give you it takes the value of P, that is the first input what we give, and star Q will take the value of this address, that is second input what you give, and sum of numbers we can print as sum, right? So this example will tell you how to use a pointer variable, right? For this application it may not be required. Okay, one more example, how to swap two numbers using pointer. Again, we need two variables a, b or xy, and here we are creating two pointers, and temp is for temporary. We are reading xy and the normal code. So normally how we will give temp equal to x, x equal to y equal to temp. But now we are going to assign xy into pointers called a and b. So a equal to ampersand x, b equal to ampersand y. What is a now? It contains the address of x. What is b? Contains the address of y. So normal code temp equal to let me continue. So the normal code temp equal to star a, because a contains address of x. I want to access the value of x, so we'll go for star a equal to star b equal to temp. Why we are not using star for temp? Because it is a temporary variable, it is an integer, temporary integer only, so we can directly access temp without use of pointers. Then we are going to swap, we are going to print the values after swap. So xy contains the swapped values. So here when you print xy, to print the values after swap. Yes. Okay. So then there is something called null pointer. If I want to assign a 0 or null to a pointer variable, what I can do? I can go with something called null pointer. So null, capital null is a predefined macro with C. So null is equal to 0. If we are giving null small with lowercase letters, that is user defined variable. Capital null is the macro, that is int star p equal to null, which is equal to 0. So if I'm using capital N and small ull, it is not the macro, it is going to be a identifier, right? So that's a simple example. And int star ptr equal to null. If we are trying to print ptr, what value to print is 0. But we gave only null, right? But how it is taking as 0? Because null is a macro in C, and with the value called as 0. There is something called void pointer. For example, you know that integer pointer can store the address of integer variable, and floating point pointer can store the address of floating point variable. Data type of pointer should match with data type of variable. In some places, if I need a common pointer to store different address, what should we do? We can go with something called void pointer. So void pointer can store the address of any type. For example, here we are giving int a equal to 10, character b equal to x. void star p. What is p now? Void pointer. I can give p equal to ampersand a, that is address of integer I can pass to p. Yes, it works. And p equal to ampersand b, that is I am trying to copy the address of character variable into p. Yes, it will work. So in such case we can go with void pointer, which is not associated with any specific data type. Okay, what is a pointer to pointer? Is it possible only to copy the address of variable into a pointer? No, you can copy the address of variable or the address of pointer also into a pointer. That is called as pointer to pointer. So better you go with an example so that it will not confuse you much. So here we have one thing called a value, that is num. First variable is num. So what value we have? 10. What is the address? 1000. This is random address again, right? So how we will write the code for this? Int num equal to 10, right? And that is int num. We are giving num equal to 10. The first diagram, right? Okay. Then we are creating the first pointer as star ptr. What is star ptr? Okay, this is ptr1, right? ptr1 and ptr2. Okay, star ptr1. What is ptr1? It is the pointer. So what a pointer can store? Address. That is ptr1 equal to ampersand num, right? So now ptr1 point to the address of this. Then we are creating one more pointer variable as ptr2. And what ptr2 can store? Address of anything, right? So ptr2 can store the address of an integer variable or integer pointer. Again, data type should match. So either I can store 2000 into it or 1000 into it. I have two options. Either ptr2 can store the address of 2000 or 1000, because only address it can store. Here I am trying to copy the address of 2000 into ptr2. That is, address of ptr1 will go to ptr2. So ptr1 equal to ampersand num, ptr2 equal to ampersand ptr1. That is, address of ptr1 I am trying to store into a pointer called ptr2, right? Now, so if I want to access 10, how I can access? Directly num will take 10 or star ptr1 will take 10 and double star ptr2 can take 10. That is pointer to variable. This is variable. This is pointer to variable. This is pointer to a variable. Right? From this we can access as pointer to variable. How to access this? Pointer to variable. Double star. We are giving double star. That is, num will take the value as it is. Star ptr1 can take the value at ptr1. What is the value at ptr1? Because ptr1 contains the address as 1000. From that address, what value we have? 10. And then double star ptr2 also will take 10. What is double star ptr2? What is star ptr2? Star ptr2 is, from this address what value we have? 1000. Right? I'll repeat one more time. Double star ptr2 you can code as star ptr2. What is ptr2? This 2000. What is star ptr2? A value from this address, right? What is the value in 2000? 1000, right? So star ptr2 will give you 1000. Again, star 1000 means what? Value at 1000. What value at 1000 we have? 10, right? So this is pointed to a variable. If I want to access 10, what are the formats we have? Num will take 10 or star ptr1 will take 10 or star ptr2 will take 10. What is star ptr2? 1000. What is ampersand ptr2? 3000. What is ampersand ptr1? 2000. What is ampersand num? 1000. Hope you are clear with pointer to pointer. We'll go back and repeat it and just have an idea of it. Okay. So far we have no clear idea that why we are using pointers, why it is required. Simply we know how to access a pointer variables alone. Yes, that much only we have understanding as of now. Now with an example, if we go through few examples, we can clearly know what is the use of pointer, right? So we can apply pointers as the function argument. That is, you know that in terms of functions, you would have learned two different types of parameter passing, right? Call by value and call by reference. What is call by value? Yes, you are going to pass the actual values from actual arguments into formal argument. There you would have learned something called actual arguments are independent with formal argument, right? That is. So here we go for the concept of call by reference, because call by reference we are using pointers. Without pointers you can go for call by reference. So this example will tell you some clear idea about it. Anyway, we will go to 2-3 examples to go for clear understanding of it. So int main, there are two inputs, we have a as well as b, and we are going to assign sum equal to 0. That is not required as of now. And so here we are going to pass all the three inputs, that is a, b and sum. In terms of call by value, in terms of normal, how we used to call it, add of a comma b comma sum. There it will pass the value. But here we are using pointers, right? What pointers basically deals with address. So we have to pass the address. How to access the address? With the help of ampersand. So I'm going to pass ampersand a, ampersand b, and ampersand sum. So here we are going to pass the address of it. So this is your function definition. Void add of int star a, int star b, int star sum. Why we are using star here actually? What we are passing? Address. Is it possible to add to address? No, there is no use actually, right? So what we need, we are going to add the value from these address. So as we are passing address, as we need to access the value from that address, we are giving star. Right? Since we are passing address in terms of add, here we are going to use star. So star, what if I'm using a simply int a, what a will contain? Address of this. If simply it is int b, it will take the address. But I'm not going to do anything with address since I need only value. So I'm using star a. What is star a? It will take the value from this. And what is int star b? It will take the value from this address. What is int star sum? It will take the value from this address. So what is sum here? It is 0, right? And star sum equal to star a plus star b. What is star a is 10, what is star b is 20. That will be stored into sum. Now 0 will be replaced by 30. Here the value becomes 30, and after this close braces the control will come back here. Here we are going to print the sum. Generally in terms of call by value, whatever you are doing with formal argument, that will not be reflected with actual arguments, right? Here it will reflect it. Okay, we'll go with one more example so that you can go for clear understanding. We are going to compare call by value and call by reference with the help of swapping of two numbers. And I would like to recall the concept of call by value first, because in terms of call by value, the default mechanism of parameter passing inside a function is call by value, and you are going to pass the content from actual arguments into formal argument, right? So what is formal arguments? Formal arguments are a dummy arguments, right? That is, the photocopies of actual arguments are called as formal arguments. All the operations you are going to perform only with formal arguments, not with actual arguments, right? So after you copy the content from actual arguments to formal argument, there is no relationship between actual and formal. So actual arguments are independent with formal arguments, right? So this you would have learned with functions itself. Now I'm recalling it. Okay. I'll take the same example what you learned, the swapping of two numbers using call by value. So main, we are declaring two variables a and b. We are declaring a function also. What is the need for function declaration? Before we use something, that should be declared in terms of programming, right? So I'm declaring a function before void swap of int comma int. What is the meaning of this? There is a function called swap which can take two integers which returns nothing. I'm going to read value for a and b. I'm going to call the function called swap. So swap of a comma b is going to be a function call. Then I'm going to return 0 and I'm going to close it. So far you have understood, right? So what is AB? Actual arguments. What is swap of a comma b? Function call. So you know that AB is a local variable inside main, right? Now I'm going to define the function void swap of x and x comma y. So what is this function definition? What happens after the statement? I need to copy the value of a to x and value of b to y. So actual arguments, the content of actual arguments are copied into formal arguments. Here I'm going to print before swap. I'm going to write the code for swap. I'm going to print after swap. Right. So what we are doing, we are calling a function. There we are writing the code for swap. So what content will get swapped? Either AB or XY. Yes, only XY will get swapped. Since AB is local to main and XY is local to swap function, right? So here we are reading and passing it. Here only the swapping is happening. So XY will get swapped, but AB will remain with the same. So this diagram will give you clear idea about it. So and see, AB and XY we are using, right? There are two functions, main and swap. So A will, here I am taking A is in the address called 2000, B is in the address called 2004. And if my inputs are 10, 20. So what is A? 10. What is B? 20. In terms of call by value, what we are giving, we are passing the value from A to X and B to Y. And you know that AB is in different memory location and XY into a different memory location, right? So now A will go to X and B will go to Y. After this code, what is happening? We are swapping X and Y. We are going to swap only X and Y. Now X will get 20, Y will get 10. That is after swap. And this logical representation I'm going to write as X will become 20 and Y will become 10. What about AB? It remains same. There A is same 10 and B is same 20. So that is why we are calling actual arguments are independent with formal argument. That is, we are going to take values from actual argument to formal argument. After that, we are not going to disturb actual arguments anymore, because all the operations are happening only with formal arguments. So that is why formal arguments are independent with actual arguments, right? What is the limitation of this? Because I'm going to pass something and we are doing so many tasks inside, but these changes will never be reflected with actual content, right? If I need the actual content also to be updated, what we can do? Normally it is not possible to do it. So in such case we go with pointers. That is call by reference. In call by reference we can go with simultaneous update with both actual and formal. How to do it? So for better understanding of what is call by value and call by reference, you take a simple analogy. In terms of call by value, if I have a material, if I have a notes, you are going to take photocopy and you are going to use it, right? So if you are going to take a photocopy, the Xerox copy, we both are having the same content, right? Because you have taken the Xerox of my notes, right? So now we both are having same content, right? So you are writing something on your notebook that will not be reflected with my copy, because you are writing with your own copy and that will not be reflected with my copy. This is call by value. What is call by reference? I'm not going to give you a photocopy of it. We both are going to refer the same content. That is call by reference. We both are going to refer the same content. I'm going to tell you the address to be accessed, right? So as we both are accessing same content, if you are doing some changes or if I'm doing some changes, so that will be reflected with the same copy, right? There we are dependent, because my changes will be reflected with your copy. Your changes also will be reflected with my copy. What is my copy or your copy? Both are same. That is your call by reference. So in terms of call by reference, instead of passing the value, we are going to pass the address. You know that how to pass the address, right? Ampersand. From the address, how to access a value? Yes, star, right? So here you're going to the same thing. So star is used to access a variable from the value from the address. So here we are going to say that formal arguments are dependent with actual arguments. That is, changes with formal arguments will affect the actual arguments also, right? Okay, go to the code. So okay, why we are declaring as int star comma int star, I will tell you it. So A, B, you are reading two inputs. We are going to pass the address of A and address of B. As we are passing the address, here we are using star. What is star? Yes, value. So this is only we are supposed to declare, because this format you should match with the declaration part. Here we are going to use two integer pointer. Here also you should declare as int star. Okay, and here we are giving before swap we are printing xy. After we are going to write the code for swapping, then after swap also we are going to print it, right? So address, here we are passing the address instead of values. Now x simply int x means what will be x, address of a. Simply y means what is y, address of b. So I can't swap the address anywhere, right? So we are going to access the value from the address called star x star y. So now xy will take 1020, and see this example. So same example I am taking. A random address is 2000, B random address 2004, and xy, instead of passing the value we are going to pass the address. Hope this cursor movement is readable for you. And ampersand a, what is address of a, 2000. What is address of b, 2004. Again it is a random address, right? And you know what is x contains address of a, y contains address of b. Okay, see, it is possible to swap the address? No, it is not possible to swap the address. So what we are going to do, we are going to access the value from the address. What is x, 2000. How to access the value from 2000? Star x. What is star x? Value at 2000. What is value at 2010? And y means what, 2004. What is how to access value from the address, this y, that is star y, and star y is value at 2004. So here with the help of pointer we are going to access the actual value, actual argument. So from this address we are going to access the actual argument. So all the changes we are going to do only with actual argument, since with formal argument you have only address. Actually the values are stored with actual. So only this function call will come in. Here we have actual values that is controlled by itself, right? So now all the changes we are going to do only with actual argument. Formal argument there is no values at all. So if swap want to access this 2010, how it can access? Star x and star y. If AB want to access the values 2010, how it can access? AB, right? So and whatever the changes we are doing with formal argument, that will be reflected with actual copy only. So that we are telling actual arguments are dependent with formal arguments. So let me recall the definition of call by reference. Instead of passing the address we are going to pass the, instead of passing the value we are going to pass the address. Okay, in what way it is advantageous? Okay, whether it is changing here or it is changing here, better we'll go with an example. Let me run this code first. Okay, let me cut all the command lines. So we are declaring a function, we are reading AB, then we are calling swap function. There we are printing before swap and after swap. See what is happening. What is the function name? Swap call dot c. Get the screen. GCC swap call dot c. No error. Okay, I'm giving 1020. So before swap 1020, after swap 2010. Okay, let me print it after this. What is happening? Printf. Let me print the value of AB. %d, %d, comma, and %a, comma, and %b. Same 1020 I am giving. Sorry, I have wrongly taken the address, right? Sorry. See this code. So my input is 1020. Here I gave the input, right? And we are calling swap of a comma b here, and x y will get same 1020. Before swap it is printing as 1020. After swap it is printing as 2010. Again after this close braces the control will come back here. Again when I'm trying to print AB, is same 10, 20. That is same value what we give. So what you understood from this? Because in terms of call by value, that is in terms of default parameter passing methods, all the changes whatever we are doing with formal argument, that will not be reflected with actual arguments, right? So AB remains same. Whatever you give in terms of AB, that is remains same. So only the changes whatever we did is reflecting only with formal arguments or function definition alone. Then what about in terms of call by reference? So we'll check that also. Hope I'm not confusing you too much. Swap ref.c. Before swap 1020 and after swap 2010. Okay, see, if I'm printing value of AB here, what will happen? A comma B. So you know that we gave the input in terms of A as well as B, and we are passing address of AB. With the help of pointer, we are going to swap it. So save the code, compile the code, run the code 1020. Okay, so this is before swap. This is my actual input. This is that we gave in terms of this scanf, right? And before swap 1020 is this code, and after swap is this code. So what is this 2010? We are going to check what happened to the value in the main, that is AB also got swapped. But in the previous code, what happened? Yes, only with function definition or only with formal argument the swapping was there. With the actual arguments it was not reflected. But here, as we are accessing the address, from the address we are going to pass the address. From the address we are going to do all the changes. So the changes are permanent. What are the changes we are doing with formal argument, that is reflected with actual arguments also. So in call by value the changes were temporary, but with call by reference the changes are permanent. So this is the advantage of pointers, right? So again you can know how to compare call by value and call by reference, right? The changes are temporary, here the changes are permanent, and here actual arguments are independent with formal arguments, and actual arguments are dependent with formal arguments. And you know that formal arguments are temporary in terms of, changes are temporary in terms of call by value, changes are permanent in terms of call by reference. The basic comparisons only. Okay. Then, so how to use pointers with arrays? Because now so far we were using like one variable or two variable, right? So in the previous example we were using two variables called A and B. So we were using two pointers, and before that we int A you gave and int star P you. For one variable you have used one pointer, for two variables you have used two pointers. In such cases, if I have an array with 10 elements, how many pointers I need? Whether I should I go with 10 pointers? No, it is not required. For example, if there are 10 students, if I am the pointer, I can point all 10, right? Yes, I can accept, but I can't point all 10 at a time. So what I will do it, I'll start from the first, I'll point to the first student, I'll finish my task, then I'll go to next student, I'll point to him, then I'll finish the task whatever given to me, then I'll go to next student, right? Similarly, so one pointer is more than enough for accessing n number of elements in the array. Then how to implement it, that we'll do it now. Again, which can be used with one-dimensional array as well as two-dimensional array also. First we'll check how to use one-dimensional array with pointers. So you know that in terms of one-dimensional array you should write as A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, right? So this A of I can be replaced by star of A plus I. instead of writing a of I with the help of normal array with pointers, we can go with star of a plus I. That will tell you the example. Okay, how to use 1D array with pointers? That's a simple example. Int I comma a of I. Here I am going to initialize a with 5 elements. Int a of I equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know that a of 0 is 1, a of 1 is 2, a of 2 is 3, a of 3 is 4, a of 4 is 5. Right? Again, it is a type of static memory allocation. Int star p. What p can store? Address. How many address we have? 5 address. How to access the address? Ampersand a of 0, ampersand a of 1, ampersand a of 2, ampersand a of 3, and ampersand a of 4. If I want to find the address of third variable, how should I give? P equal to ampersand a of 2. What about this? P equal to ampersand a of 0. Okay. Alright. Okay. And now I'm giving as p equal to, excuse me, the formatting got changed. Okay, p equal to a, because normally we need ampersand, right? That is optional for arrays. If p equal to a means, and a is going to take the starting address of the array. So p equal to a is equal to p equal to ampersand a, which is also equal to p equal to ampersand a of 0. If we are giving as a or ampersand a of 0, everything will take the same starting address of a. So either I can take p equal to, this is only for arrays alone. For a normal variable, you can't give us p equal to a. If a is a normal integer like int a semicolon, you can't give us p equal to a. But for array, you can use it, because this internally you can mean this as p equal to ampersand a or p equal to ampersand a of 0. Hope the statement is clear, right? If you are getting confusion out of it, you use the code as p equal to ampersand a as of now. Okay. See how you will normally print this array. For I equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, print of percentage d comma a of I. I ranges from 0 to 4. Right? That's the normal. With the help of pointer, see what p contains now? A, that is a of 0, right? The address of the first one. So p contains address of this element, right? From the address, how to access a value? Yes star. So now you may be somewhat comfortable with accessing it. So what is p now? Address of the first element. What is star p? Value of the first element. So p will print 1. Again p plus plus. Now this pointer will go to the next address. P plus plus means it will move to next address. What is next address? Ampersand a of 1. Some formatting issues, sorry for that. Okay, so p plus plus will take the next address. Again next iteration, I equal to 1, yes, condition is true. Again star p, where we are now in this address, right? Star p, print the output as true. Again plus plus will go to next address. So here I is used for only number of iterations alone. In terms of normal array, here I used to access the index. But here we are not going to do anything with the index, because pointer, with the help of pointer, we are going to move and access the value. Here I is going to be used for number of iterations alone, not for indexing. Why we are not using for indexing? Because we are moving the pointer and we are using it around actually. Then I equal to 2, I equal to 3, I equal to 4 is number of iterations, and p plus plus will print this value. Again p plus plus print the value. Again p plus plus will print the value. Again the condition will fail. It will come outside of for loop. So it is going to print the values as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One value for each and every iteration. Did you understood the code? Yes. Okay, fine. Okay, because here we are telling us, okay, normally if we are giving p equal to a of or p equal to a, what are the different formats we have in terms of this? So this many formats we are not going to use with real time with basic examples, but in terms of interview or in terms of aptitude point of view, these formats will help. The basic format is enough for us as of now, but these kind of things will confuse you in terms of aptitude questions or MCQs, right? Okay. See, percentage d comma a of I. This is a normal thing. What is a of I? Yes, it prints the normal array, right? And I of a, either you can give us a of I, and for example, if I want to print a of 0, how I will, you take the same example, how to print this one, print of percentage d comma a of 0. How to print this one, print of percentage d comma a of 1, a of 2, a of 3, and this is a normal format we access, right? So either I can take this as a of 0 or 0 of a. I can print this as a of 1 or 1 of a, both are same, but this we are not using much, but this is also allowed. So I of a is also the same thing. Okay, then a plus I, because what is a? Simply a is nothing but the starting address, right? Okay, if it is a plus 0, that is the first address. A plus 1, a is the starting address plus 1. A plus 2, a is nothing but starting address plus 1 plus 2. Something like also we can access. So a plus I means that is a as the starting address plus I is the number of elements, right? Okay. From the address, because a plus, if I'm giving as a plus 2, what it will take, what you will do, a is the starting address plus 1 plus 2, right? So a plus 2 will take this address. So how to access the value from an address? Again we can use pointer, right? Super. So star. So a plus I will print address of all the array elements, and star a plus I means what we will take value from that particular address. This is one thing. Okay. Then what about star a? If star a plus 2 means what you will do? A plus 2, again this value. And if simply star a, what it will take? A is nothing but starting address, right? That is a of 0. Star a means the value and a of 0. Yes. Okay, if we are simply giving us a plus plus, it will lead to compilation error, because a plus plus means we are trying to increase the address. You can't increase the address. You can tell it to move to next address, but you can't go with plus plus. So hope you are comfortable with these basic statements. If you know how to access the array or pointer with the help of 1D, if this is comfortable for you, you can crack any type of MCQs or aptitude questions using a 1D array with pointers. So you spend some time in learning this actually. Okay. So here I'm going to write a simple code to read and print array elements with the address. Okay, you take first the output first, and we are going to read 5 elements, 1 2 3 4 5. Then I'm going to print all the elements address and values. So address, value. So the first address, first value. Okay, let me type the code better. It's for a long time we didn't try. Yeah, 5. Okay, let me assign the values and do it better. Yeah, 5 equal to 1 2 3 4 and 5. Okay, int star p. What is p now? Pointer variable. How many pointers we need for an array? Only one is enough. From where to start? P equal to ampersand a or a of 0, everything is allowed. Ampersand a. Right, now I'm going to print it for I equal to 0, I less than, here n is 5, right, I plus plus. What is the need for this for loop now? Is it for indexing? No, if we are using a normal array, we can go for indexing. As we are using a pointer, no need to go for indexing. And here this loop is for number, I is for number of iterations alone. Okay, now I'm going to print it. So what we are going to print? The address and value, right? So how to print address? Percentage p, or I can go with percentage x also. So let me go with proper formatting. I'll print a new line. Okay, slash. Okay. I'll go with some tab space. And then percentage t. First we will take the copy and paste the code. Okay, fine. If we are giving us p, what it will take? Okay, what p contains basically the first address, right? So p plus I. So during first iteration, what is p plus I? P plus 0, that is first address. During second iteration, p plus 1, second address. Again next iteration, p plus 2, third address, fourth address and fifth address. So this is p plus I. Okay. Then how to print the value from the address? Yes, star of p plus I will print the value. Close the quotes. See, what is the first one? Address. Address of what? P plus 0, that is p is the starting address. Initially we are storing p plus 0, next iteration p plus 1, p plus 2, p plus 3 and p plus 4. Again star of p plus I means that is address and p of p 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is test.c. Okay, that is giving you a warning that ampersand is not required. It is not the error, it is the warning only, so you can go ahead. Either you can change or you can go ahead. So I'm going to run the code. Yes, that is first iteration is p plus I becomes 0. P plus I means that is p is a plus 0. Again star of so and so, that is value from this address. Again next iteration I becomes 1. So it is p plus 1. P is what? Starting address plus 1. Again value from that address. Again p plus 2. This is your p plus 2 address from starting to plus 1 plus 2. Just compare the code with output. You will have a clear understanding. So hope you understood how to access 1D array with this, right? Okay. Then how to go with pointer with 2D array? Okay. So as I told you before, A of I can be accessed as star of a plus I. Here also the same format you have to learn with 2D array also, because normally we used to write that as A of ij, right? So instead of A of ij, we are going to use as star of a plus I plus j. That is A is nothing but starting address plus I, the starting address, plus j. It will I will take row wise and j will take column wise. Starting address and row wise and column wise. For value you go with star. This is row wise. Again plus this is for column wise. That is, this example will clearly tell you, instead of A of 3 by 3 we are taking matrix of 3 by 3. So this is an array called matrix of 3 by 3. You know that index is going to be 0 0 0 1 0 2 1 0 1 1 1 2 2 0 2 1 2 2. So this is matrix of 0 0, right? Matrix of 0 1, matrix of 0 2. So this complete row is going to be matrix 0. This is matrix plus 1. This is matrix plus 2. This is matrix is nothing but the beginning address, right? So plus 0 is a row. So a matrix plus 0 plus 0. This is for column. This is for row, right? Again, what about this? This complete things are matrix plus 1. In that 0 1 2. This complete row is nothing but matrix plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 and plus 2, right? Just go through this diagram. This diagram will clearly tell you how to access it. That is row value plus column again star. So we'll stop the first part of pointers with this. We'll see the rest of the